It's 20 minutes after the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom, Lori, Bob, the puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Tom, Bob, and Fiver Spinkle.
And the award winner, Fiver Spinkle. You know, I don't know about you, but these are the best metamorphic rocks I've ever eaten.
Oh, very good.
Very good. They're fine metamorphic rocks.
Very good.
You know, usually you'd need a jaw like Superman's to cut through rock and enjoy it as a breakfast food, but we're going to go to Omaha, Nebraska, and that's where John Burke from Personal FX is now, with Superman super collector Mace Brown. John?
This is Mace Brown. Mace, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
All right. We were just talking about the collectability of Superman, and the original comic book just sold for how much?
Action number 1 went for about $110,000 at auction.
$110,000. Now, you have one of the top 10 collectibles in your hand right
Correct.
now when it comes to comics. What is this?
This is the 1942 original edition of Superman, written by a gentleman named George Lowther. And the importance of this to the whole legend is that it tied together the story of Superman for the first time. His origin, coming from the planet Krypton and adopted by the Kents, etc.
And this is about what year are we talking here?
1942.
1942.
Right.
All right, Mace, let's go see how this all ties together with
Certainly.
you as far as your dad actually was a projectionist, right, at the local movie theater?
Yes.
And tell me what you got here.
Well, on Saturday afternoons, there, along with the cartoon and the main feature, there would be the 12 installments of the serial. This is Kirk Alyn, who was the original Superman on film.
That's Noel Neal, isn't it?
Yeah. The lady, Noel Neal, was Lois Lane in the serials in the first movie, and also was the first Lois Lane on TV with George Reed.
And what do we have behind us here?
This is a lobby poster, a lobby card from one of the installments. You can see this is Chapter 7. Obviously, each episode would end in a cliffhanger, usually with something happening to Lois or Jimmy.
And about what year is this again?
This is, all of these were in the early 40s.
Early 40s. Now, Superman once died.
Definitely.
And what happened? They put out a packet, I guess, right?
Yes, this was a premium edition of The Death of Superman, which included posters, the comic book itself,
and the all-important...
Right.
Well, this is what I want to show you here. Yeah, go ahead and take that out.
This is the important part.
Yeah.
Well, this, we don't keep the comic in here for valuable reasons. Excuse me, we have this edition. This is a special cover.
Now,
depicting the ultimate death of Superman.
Now, let me ask you this.
And this is what happens, right?
Did Mace hear me, John? Can you hear me, Mace?
Yeah, yes.
All right, now, they've since revived Superman, but also they've changed the history of the character quite a bit over the past few years. Now the Kents are alive again, his adoptive parents, right?
Correct, and Clark and Lois are engaged.
Yeah.
The legend has changed a little bit. He's not quite as invulnerable as he was.
Right.
He's certainly still super, but he has his limitations besides kryptonite and magic and the traditional.
Well, it's the 90s. A man can be more vulnerable in the 90s.
You guys ever seen kryptonite?
Not up close, no.
Come on. This is the place for you. Tell me about where you got this.
My sister is a Mickey Mouse collector. She's also in the theater. She's on tour right now with Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, that's goofy.
Has time during the day to do a lot of shopping, and she came across authentic kryptonite.
Feeling a little dizzy there, Tom? Feel all right?
No more than usual.
This guy has got everything. One last thing I want to show you. No collection is complete without the Superman pretzels.
Oh, that's great.
Very cool.
Wow.
He's got a whole lot more, and we're going to be showing you more of his collection coming up a little bit later on Personal FX. Thanks, Mace, for having us.
Very good.
All right, John.
That pretzel with a malted would be wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. Super
Wonderful.
malted.
Oh,
yes.
my.
Mace Brown,
Marvelous.
super collector with John Burke in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yay.
Good stuff.
Very good. Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Can I just sit here and
Yes,
watch?
you sure can. We're
Wonderful.
so thrilled to have you here. Fiver Spinkle, you played Douglas Wumbaugh on Picket Fences, and you actually won an Emmy for playing that role.
Thank you.
And I know Tom spoke to you earlier, but we all watched the Emmy Awards, and your speech was poetic.
Oh, thank you.
Did you write it?
No, I didn't. I was nominated a year ago, and I didn't win. Then I had a prepared speech.
It was in your pocket.
I had a prepared speech. But the second year when I was nominated, I said to my wife, we're going in that theater to have a good time, no matter what happens. And when they mentioned my name, I jumped to the ceiling.
I know. We all saw you.
God, wonderful. I couldn't believe it. And I ran up, and I started going, especially Heather Locklear. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
You see, she's a beautiful lady. It's the oldest cliche in the world. The difference in ages, you know.
Yeah.
The May-December kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you something. A woman is as old as she looks. A man is old when he stops looking.
Ah, very true. Yeah, we actually have a clip from your award-winning...
A clip?
A video clip from your award-winning performance on Picket Fest.
Is Richard Simmons in that clip?
I don't think so.
No, it only seems that way.
Let's roll the tape,
Let's
please.
see. I love my kids, too, you know. They're back east, so we don't see them too much. That doesn't mean that I don't love them with all my heart. It's just that we don't see them too much because it's so far. I know when parents look at their children, they see something special. Sometimes when they look too close, they're not special.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That was the episode that I submitted for the Emmy committee.
Yeah.
You see, there was, I told a joke that was a little distasteful in the temple, so the rabbi threw me out.
Ah.
Oh, I've been thrown out many times.
So if Susan Lucci did a temple scene, she'd be in.
Oh, my God, if she did a temple scene, she would finally win. So, that's the one I submitted.
Yeah.
And I ordered a tribunal of rabbis. I wouldn't let him get away with it. And the young lady that plays Kimberly, she stood up for me. You see, he's not, because he's a lawyer and a hustler. That doesn't mean that he's a bad person. She'd be delighted to have him in her group,
Aw.
in her faith. And, oh, she saved the whole day. That's why I came back to thank the sheriff and his wife for the wonderful children that he had.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good. Now, you mentioned your wife being in the movie.
Yeah.
You've been married for, what, 48 years?
48 years.
That's a long time. That's you get an award for that in itself.
Yeah, you proved your point.
Yeah. How did you meet your wife? Do you remember?
I met her in a subway.
Like, you met her on the subway?
On the subway, a lady asked me for directions. So I took her immediately to the Hotel Astor.
Hello.
We had coffee, and we started to talk, and in a month we were engaged.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you know that wouldn't happen today?
No.
Today,
If someone asked me for directions
Today
on the
it's
subway, I'd
easier.
run in the other direction.
Yeah, you ask now, you get maced.
today it's much easier.
You think so?
Today you audition each other.
It's almost like a job interview. I've heard it described as a job interview.
Really? Well, they audition each other, and if it's all right, then they get married.
Do we have
And when
a
they
song?
get married, they find out they're not, suitable for each
That's
other.
if you get a call back.
Plus,
Do we have a
Right.
song, Devil in a Bow Tie? Because I think it would fly here.
It's my agent.
This is going very well. Go ahead.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
I love you also. This is going very well.
Well, we wish you luck with Picket Fences, especially with getting the time slot changed, which I know the whole cast is trying to do.
We're trying to do that,
Yeah.
but we're innocent. We're going to hang anyway.
You guys are doing
In
great.
other words, they want us there. The network wants us on that Friday spot. If they change us, would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But they want us on Friday. What are we going to do?
Yeah,
so
I
you
guess
stay
just do
where
it.
they want.
Sure.
Of course, the sponsors have a lot to say about that. Without them, you have no program.
Can you have some time to stay with us this morning?
Certainly.
Good.
I'll
5 Sprinkles in the studio.
stay all the while.
Thank you so much.
I have no idea what we're doing next.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to break.
But I know.
Oh,
We're
good.
going to take a look at the Silks that are going to win the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. Coming up on Breakfast Time.
At FX, you don't have to be a bride to find something old, new, borrowed,
Since your mom gave it to you, would you part with it and put it up for sale? Sure.
or blue.
28 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Lori.
Thank you very much. Someone said to me during the commercial break, did you change? And I said, yes, but just my clothes. And the reason I changed my clothes is because we're doing a segment on how to dress for a job interview, and I wanted everyone to see what I wore for my first job interview here at FX. And this is what it was. And Dorothy Leeds took one look at me. She's the author of Marketing Strategies. She was like, well, like I did 3.
It got the job.
But
That's
I did
the important thing.
3 bad things, like the mini skirt, the cleavage, the whole thing. I'm not working it. But what should you be thinking about when you're dressing for a job interview?
Well, I mean, there are a couple of very important things. You should always dress for the job you want, not necessarily the job you're going to get.
Yeah.
And when in doubt, dress conservatively as I am. Navy blue, white, pumps. And there are some other things that we can show with these great models that we have here. Here first we have Sari.
Sari.
And Sari is for her first job, and she looks just perfect.
Looking
Simple,
good, Sari.
little pearls. She looks just great. Couldn't go wrong for your first job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we have also someone who looks a little more casual here, Patricia.
Sorry.
Here's Patricia here.
Oh, wonder you were thrown out of the temple.
Give her whatever.
Patricia would be perfect
I'm
if
a
she were
busy
going
man. Leave
for
me alone.
a casual job. She's called in advance, which you should always do, by the way. Always call and find out what the company's about before you go. But if it's a casual company, she looks just sensational.
Yay,
Yeah, you really
Petunia.
do.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
About 5-ish, yes.
And we have also,
My
we have
kids
Frank
want me to
here,
retire.
also casual, man-type casual. He's called in advance, and he knows that he doesn't have to wear a tie, and he can be a little more
See
relaxed.
if he gets a
Very
hug.
He looks absolutely
Very
great.
good.
But now, if you really want to go dress for success, we have Marty here.
Marty.
Who looks
Yay,
fantastic.
Marty.
He's about to go into the boardroom. Look at that with a tie and with a, he looks fabulous. And actually, for most job interviews, you can get away, and you should really try to wear a suit, unless you know that it's a casual environment.
Right.
And also, you know, buy something new to make yourself feel really good. And last, we have gorgeous
Caruso.
Joyce here.
Yes, gorgeous
Who-
Joyce, yeah.
And she is a little more chic. She's wearing black stockings, which you might not wear if you lived in the country, but in an urban setting, it's absolutely fine.
You're hired.
And
We have to thank Lord & Taylor for the clothing that everybody's wearing today. It looks gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Just, quickly wrapping up, what are some definite no-nos?
Oh, well, first of all, red is not a good thing to wear. It
Red?
calls too much attention to yourself.
Right.
Watch the shoes, no scruffy shoes, and probably not too many spiky high heels for women, not too many short skirts, and not too much flanky jewelry, because you don't want to call attention to yourself.
Okay. Dorothy Leeds, author
Yay,
of Marketing
Dorothy
Strategies. Thank you very
Leeds,
much.
yay.
Oh, all
And
these
thank
great
you again
models.
to Lord & Taylor. The clothing was beautiful. Right now, let's take a look at what is making headlines this morning.
Hello, everyone. Here are some of the stories we're keeping an eye on as they develop this Thursday, May 4th. Topping the news, one of the 2 Americans jailed in Iraq has been returned to a cell after being hospitalized for chest pains. In Ohio, bells will toll at Kent State University this afternoon in commemoration of the students killed during the tragic Vietnam War protest 25 years ago today. A recent news poll finds a majority of Americans want the government to try to prevent domestic terrorism, even if it means intruding on people's rights and privacy. In Washington, a key Senate Republican gave controversial Surgeon General nominee Dr. Henry Foster a thumbs up during Foster's second round of confirmation hearings. And finally, home decorator Martha Stewart is stirring up some controversy in Connecticut. Stewart's neighbors are complaining production equipment for her show is causing a major traffic problem in the town. Well, that's a quick look at what's making news across the country. Now, here's Jim with a look at the weather.
That's right. We got a lot of rain in the Midwest all the way down to Mississippi, Louisiana. Rain in the Northwest, rain in northern Minnesota. Let's look at those high temperatures. And those are the high temperatures. That's all you get. That's a red dot in the west. That's the weather.
All right, we're just sitting here at 5-ish Finkel. We've got David and Karen Lager from White Plains, New York, and Joan and Lydia Weiland, Weiland sisters, and, of course, the Bobster. And we're all here to find out what else is brewing over at Wagner's Pharmacy in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where John Davis is. It's a pharmacy. It's a liquor store. It's a place where they dress jockeys. John?
It's Becker and Dursky, which is a division of Wagner Incorporated, and they've been making silks, as we see right here, as well as bridles and training saddles, the same way that they've always been doing it since 1875. Now, we have Mike Weber here, who is a MC, Tom, master craftsman. Now, Mike, what do you make here? You make bridles and...
we make bridles, halters, saddles, racing equipment, anything to do with the racehorse.
So one of your bridles could be on a Derby winner tomorrow?
Yes.
All right, and you make it all by hand?
Yes, everything's hand creased, hand rubbed, hand edged, hand cut.
And the thing is, Mike has been here for 20 years, and the guy will not take any help. This is a very busy time for you. Why don't you bring in extra help?
Well, probably they couldn't do it to suit me, mainly.
He's a tough man to please. So tell us about this machine. What's that?
A creaser. These are still creased by hand. The straps are still creased, hand rubbed. When you pick up the leather this many times, you just you see if anything's wrong with it. You just get a better feel for it. There's no blemishes, anything's wrong with it.
And the thing is, look at all this equipment. This is all like 100 years old. I'm sure they've updated these, Mike. How come you don't change to an updated machine?
They just can't do the job. It wouldn't hold up. These are just as these machines are just the best there is still.
Really?
Yeah.
And you do a lot by hand, like punching the holes?
We still punch the holes by hand. It's pretty slow. Probably it would bore a lot of people, but we just go on and keep doing it the same old-fashioned way.
We either watch this or paint dry. Come over here, Mike. Now, those are the bridles, but you also make training saddles. And these are the training saddles. And show us a little bit about this.
Here's one that's in work here. This is called the Tree with the billets on it. This is about all there is to it. Some people would find it pretty hard to believe that this is all that's strapped onto a 1,200-pound horse.
And these are all the pieces, and then this is it, and this is very light. This is the training saddle, but it's still much bigger and much heavier than a race saddle, right?
In comparison, this right here would probably weigh 2 or 3 pounds rigged. Jock saddle maybe just weigh several ounces.
Okay. Look at this. Come on, let's go. Mike, we've got to leave you. We've got to talk to your boss for a minute. Lee Wagner is here, whose father, Leo, started Wagner's Pharmacy. Lee, you just got back from Churchill Downs. They're getting ready to draw their post positions. What's the excitement like out at the track?
Oh, people everywhere.
Really?
People everywhere, press everywhere. We just left the Japanese press over there with Nick Zito and, the mayor. Everybody's over there.
How important is the post position?
Oh, the post position, very, very important.
Okay.
Glenn Wismer could really tell you about post position. He's a trainer. He won the Oaks of the big filly race here 2 years ago with a filly called Love Me Not.
And you have horses running Saturday, right?
Yes, I've entered 4 for Saturday. I've got Love Me,
Love Me Tender, Love Me.
No, I have Mr. Ahi Rock.
Okay.
Stakes, 3 or 4.
And the thing is, Lee mentioned Nick Zito. These are the colors for Suave Prospect, which is a favorite at the Kentucky Derby. So be watching these colors, and we'll see if it wins.
Yeah.
All right, JD, thanks a lot.
That's it, guys.
At Wagner's Pharmacy, and if you've joined us a little late today, it really is a pharmacy. Down below, they have they serve you breakfast. You can actually buy liquor there. It's a multi-purpose store. If you're a jockey who loses, you have a place to go. right at the pharmacy when you return your clothes.
A couple of drinks and something for a headache.
That's right. That's right.
Jim, tell us what's coming up.
People who water ski on Old Man River, that Old Man River, he must like skiing. He don't say nothing.
Sugar and spice.
I will kill you.
And everything nice.
I love your desk. The tusks. They're so you.
That's what Dynasty's little girls are made of.
Oh my God, what is it with you women?
Dynasty, weeknights at 9, 8 Central. Only on FX.
Concerned about your family's safety? Then note that Subaru Legacy wagons, like Volvo wagons, come with many safety features, plus one even Volvo doesn't offer. Subaru all-wheel drive, which automatically transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels.
10 Central, exclusively on FX.
You're a sweetie pot of gold. It's 17 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Tom, Lori, Bob, the puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Lori.
Thank you very much. Jillian Hamilton is in Rock Island this morning, Illinois, learning about some of the jumping stunts that a group of water skiers are doing. And I understand you have a little friend there before we do anything else, Jill.
Yes, Lori, this is Nicholas, and Nicholas came down with his mom, Luann, and Nicholas drew a picture of Bob, and he gave him a picture of himself that we could put on the refrigerator. So I think they just want to say hi and give a wave.
Hi, Nicholas.
Wave, Nicholas.
Hi, Nick.
And it's a picture for Bob. Thank you so much for coming down. Thank you so much.
My teeth
now, we're
aren't
with
that
Dennis
good.
again here. Sorry, Bob?
My teeth aren't that good.
This is Dennis again from the Backwater Gamblers here on Rock Island, Illinois. And now we're about to see some of the stunts that you do with just the three gentlemen. Tell us one of the stunts that we're going to see right now.
We're going to see the double helicopter with a single split jump act.
Okay, now these stunts are performed on skis that are different than the skis that we saw earlier. How wide are these skis, for example?
These skis are 6 inches wide.
Okay, and I see that they're also wearing the warm protective clothing. Once again, the water here in the Rock Island River is about 45 degrees. And they're also wearing helmets. Why is that, Dennis?
The helmet's for their own protection. Should they have an accident on the jump, there's additional protection for themselves.
Okay, now, we know that you guys train all year long. How long does it take for them to train for a stunt like this?
Well, the helicopters that you'll be seeing have been taken probably hundreds of hours, hundreds and hundreds of jumps.
Okay, we see that they're giving hand signals. And
there we go.
Yeah. Double helicopter, single split the middle.
Okay, now they're going to see this. We're going to see them do one more jump, Dennis. And we were saying a little bit earlier that we see them giving each other hand signals. What is that about?
Well, they signal to each other and also the rider and the boat watches, so they do know what jump is coming up.
Okay, now speaking of the rider in the boat, he is no amateur. He's actually been doing this for many years.
15 years of showboat driving experience. Brent Burl, a very fine driver.
Okay, now we're about to see our second stunt. What's the name of the second stunt?
Setting up now for a backwards gainer, a backwards flip, a helicopter, and a man crossing all the way under the rope. A lot of action.
Sounds scary to me. And we're picking up speed. About how fast are we going now?
Craft boat picking up speed to about 32 miles an hour to approach the jump ramp.
Wow. 32 miles an hour. They're going over the jump and woo!
Helicopter cross.
Fabulous looking stuff. In our last 10 seconds, let's just talk about the jump that they went over. It's how high, Dennis?
5.5 foot high, 24 foot long with a fiberglass jump surface.
All right, Dennis, you and I are becoming intimate friends here. How fast this boat is going. If you're on Rock Island in Illinois, come and see the Backwater Gamblers. Sometimes they have audiences of up to 3,000 people. It's a fabulous, fun-filled summer activity for the family.
Jillian, thank you. Just fantastic. And tell your cameraman, great camera work. Really, that's a tough shoot.
Please, the cameraman.
Who? Who is? Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Good job, Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Way to go, Lincoln.
Lincoln Weeks, the cameraman.
Great stuff. Great stuff. It was indeed. All right, we're going to take a break, and believe it or not, we're just going to keep cranking the show at you.
That's right. We have cruising on an expensive luxury liner. Well, only if you consider 170 grand per person double occupancy expensive.
Couple sells baseball for $900 on Personal FX.
And they bought it for $2.
You and your stuff could be headline material on Personal FX, the collectible show, only on FX.
I was graduating from college. I had to get ready for interviews. And to be honest with you, I was fat. I was a size 16. And that's when I decided to go to Jenny Craig. Now I feel great. I went to the mall. I get into this dress and I zip it up and I start to cry. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just put on a size 8.
Get ready for summer now at Jenny Craig. Start for only $6 a week, less than $1 a day. Call 1-800-92-JENNY today.
And now I feel as if I can go out and get any job.
Our club believes in all kinds of far-out things, but no way we're believing this cereal tastes like Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treat Squares.
Alien abductions, yes. Putting that taste in the cereal, no.
That taste. It is that taste. Yeah. But in crispy clusters. Who on earth would have thought?
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treat cereal.
Are you all right?
Yes. But where's Walter?
Forget Walter. Where's the cereal? You've got to taste it to believe it.
Oh, look at the sunset.
It's like being in the islands.
How's this?
Kahlua Cafe from General Foods International Coffees.
Delicious. What's this flavor? Kahlua.
I'm imagining tropical breezes.
And endless beaches.
The only after-dinner coffee with the flavor of real Kahlua.
It makes me want to be...
Where?
Right here, right now.
Celebrate the moments of your life. Kahlua Cafe.
Hey, you know what I'm thinking?
What?
I'm thinking about all the fantastic films FXM Movies from Fox has in May.
Me too. I guess great minds do think alike.
Well, there's a lot on my mind with the FXM premiere of Irwin Allen's upside-down epic, The Poseidon Adventure.
Maybe by climbing out of here we can save ourselves.
Now what am I thinking?
You're probably thinking about more premieres like The Flight of the Phoenix with Jimmy Stewart and Richard Attenborough, and the sci-fi thriller Dreamscape starring Dennis Quaid and Max von Sydow. And to think FXM has all my favorite movie genres uncut and commercial-free.
So when you think of action...
I think of the high-flying adventure The Blue Max.
Romance?
Joan Crawford and Henry Fonda in Daisy Kenyon.
I need to kiss your neck. No, you don't need to kiss my neck.
Comedy?
I think of Jimmy Stewart in The Jackpot.
Drama?
Night People. Musicals?
Busby Berkeley's The Gang's All Here.
And when you think movies from Hollywood's first movie network...
Think FXM, movies from Fox, this May.
Wow, you're reading my mind. It's available now. Just call your local cable operator.
11 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Tom.
We know
and
it.
Bob.
Here, and Bob. The Bobster's right over here, too, reading some fine literature. Spencer Garbett, speaking of Richard Simmons' Disco Sweat video, it looks like he's on the dance floor at the Crystal Symphony Ship here in Manhattan. Spencer?
That's correct. We're in the Starlight Room, actually, and of course, what to do when you're on 96 days on a cruise ship is always a big question. Mr. David de Havilland is cruise director, make sure everyone's entertained. And people start climbing the walls after a while or not?
No, not really. They just love it. Many people do world cruises, have done it before, so they love to come back. It's a kind of a club. We have a great enrichment program.
Angela Lansbury?
People, names like Casper Weinberger, Robert Pierpoint, Kissinger, etc., who come and join us. So people have a wonderful time. There's plenty to do, and then there's the excitement of the ports themselves.
Okay, because they go to a lot of 38 ports they're going to. Thank you, David. We're going to have a little look around. Actually, we'd like to roll the tape now, just to give you an outside look of what the ship looks like, because it really is quite a spectacular ship that holds about 960 people and about 530 in help. So there's about one person in staff to help all the people that are actually on the ship.
Makes the Love Boat look like a dinghy.
I know, doesn't it? They tow it behind. It's 12 levels, 6 of them are rooms. Right now we're in Avenue of the Stars, where they have 3 different shops, clothing shops, jewelry shops, photo shop. And what's unique about this ship is there's, in addition to the main dining room, there's also 4 restaurants. You know, Italian, Chinese, what have you. And if that doesn't entertain you, we have the Hollywood Theater. And you come in here, it's a 143-seat theater that you can see current run movies.
What's showing now?
Whatever you like.
Waterworld.
Nothing. A curtain. Like this. And if that doesn't strike your fancy, you can rent movies from a huge library and watch them in your room, because each room has a VHS, of course. And if you don't want to spend 96 days in the ship, you can buy smaller packages for 15 to 20 days for about $10,000 per person. And of course, gambling, 24 hours a day, about 125 slot machines here in Caesar's Palace, 5 blackjack tables, roulette, everything you want at Caesar's Palace. To gamble all your money away on 96 days. You'll probably have nothing left by the time you'll be mortgaged to the hilt. And then we enter the Galaxy Ballroom. Now in this room, that seats about 200 people actually, and they put on Broadway shows, and they have a troupe of about 10 people put on Broadway shows, cabarets, and what have you, little laser light show, and even a revolving hydraulic stage that moves around. So they can do it. So they're leaving tonight actually, at 9 o'clock on the boat. 25 days. They're going to go through Mexico, Panama Canal, Caribbean, up to Los Angeles. And then January 17th starts the 96-day world tour from Los Angeles to London, stopping in 38 ports around the world.
Spencer,
I want to go.
I'll tell you what, we only have about 5 minutes of show left. Now's the time to go knocking on Angela Lansbury's door.
Right.
Let's go!
All right.
Yeah!
All right.
All right.
Who cares if they throw you off now, Spencer? The show's almost over.
I'm going to get her! Wake up, Angela!
Don't be a weenie!
Lori?
We will be right back. Please stay with us.
That's right. Marty Locker does a detailed audit of the Waterworld budget, time permitting, coming up on Breakfast Time.
The FX Action Adventure Afternoon takes you hunting for bad guys with the Amazon Sportsman, Sportswoman.
That's right.
When the villains are really biting, FX knows that Wonder Woman shows you how to toss out a line and reel in a big one. We'll also take you to the FX Outback for tiara boomerang hunting. And we'll show you the only safe way to handle a firearm.
I wouldn't try to fire this thing if I were you.
The Amazon Sportswoman is your FX guide to that criminal big game you've always dreamt of.
Then why don't you do it?
Take off with Wonder Woman, part of AAA TV, every day at 4, only on FX.
Critics are calling French Kiss sexy, savvy, and very funny. Meg Ryan is absolutely adorable.
Are you coming?
Kevin Kline is hilarious. Maintenant je comprends tout. French Kiss. What did he just say?
I don't know.
Rated PG-13. Summer starts with a kiss tomorrow.
Our club believes in all kinds of far-out things, but no way we're believing this cereal tastes like Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treat Squares.
Alien abductions, yes. Putting that taste in the cereal, no.
That taste. It is that taste. Yeah. But in crispy clusters. Who on earth would have thought?
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treat Cereal.
Are you all right?
Yes. But where's Walter?
Forget Walter. Where's the cereal?
You've got to taste it to believe it.
Who knows what took me so long? I mean, I've always loved Suave. Then I find their antiperspirant. It's great. Keeps me dry. Really dry. Expensive? Nope. Just works that way. Have you discovered all the ways Suave makes you look good?
Experience Florida as it was, and still is, the Lee Island coast. From historic Fort Myers to Sanibel and Captiva Islands to Fort Myers Beach, it's a beach lover's paradise. Enjoy miles of beautiful beaches, go sailing and fishing, play golf and tennis, or do nothing at all. Good things never change on the Lee Island coast. For a free vacationer's guide, call 1-800-533-4753, extension 18.
Yo, what's up? I'm Sinbad, and here's the deal. I want you to check your Sunday paper for the coupon to save up to $4 on Polaroid Instant Film for all your upcoming picture-taking celebrations. So have a happy Mother's Day, anniversary, Father's Day, birthday, graduation, best wishes. Polaroid Instant Savings. Am I tacky?
Join the fight against hate crimes.
FX wants you to take a stand.
A hate crime is an act of violence carried out against a person because of race, religion, or sexual orientation. What can you do? You can teach your children about the importance of tolerance. If every family did so, hate crimes could become a thing of the past. For more information on the subject of tolerance, call the Simon Wiesenthal Center. Don't wait to take action. Be part of the solution.
Stop the anger and neighborhood destruction. Take a stand.
Vernon Shaw from FX News, bringing you the headlines you need from across the country and around the world every hour. He keeps you connected throughout the day with the top stories, from international headlines to what's hot in Hollywood. Vernon Shaw, bringing you the news on FX, TV with you in mind.
Oh, it's here, it's here.
4 minutes to magic. Here's the whole gang.
Have a quick mailbag
Lily,
music.
you just hum the mailbag music at home. All right,
Yes.
you can do it. There you go.
Wait.
Real easy. You can sing it at home. We'll play it here, whatever.
Please, Mr. Postman.
Special thank you to Lisa, Sam, and Catherine Whiting from Louisville, Kentucky for sending us some terrific Derby paraphernalia. We got a great T-shirt and a hat and some cups and a bunch of other great stuff. You should find in your box all the items to have a Derby party, which is big here in Louisville, Kentucky. T-shirt for Jim, cap, of course, for Bob, and the rest for the... Oh, Bob and Jim aren't getting these.
I know.
What, are you kidding?
What's the difference? It's all going to end up in Liddell's office anyway.
So we thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And apologies, we did not have time for more of your letters and such, but we had Richard Simmons here.
Now we know.
We'll figure that out. Disco sweat.
And we get your letters.
Yeah.
By writing to us at Breakfast Time, P.O. Box 825 Madison Square Station, New York, New York, 10159-0825. Or you can call us at 1-800-FX1 or fax us at 212-802-4208 or email us at fxbreakfast@delphi.com. We read your letter on the air. You don't get a Kentucky Derby T-shirt, you get an FX T-shirt.
We want to thank the Lager family from White Plains, New York, our visiting family for being with us today.
Family from White Plains, New York.
To Five-ish Finkel Emmy winner for being
Thank you.
Larry Locker, our team therapist. Folk remedies. Of course, Mr. Cronson in his classroom.
Mr. Cronson and the Weiland sisters.
Great stuff. And let's thank the Road Warriors, J.D. in Louisville, Kentucky at Wagner's Pharmacy. John?
That's right, Tom. It's a pharmacy. It's a restaurant. Mr. Smith is here. He's amazed at the place. Derby fever is happening here in Louisville. So goodbye from Wagner's, and watch for the Silks.
All right. Thank you.
Sir. Jillian's in Rock Island, Illinois with the Backwater Gamblers. Some fine tricks today.
Thank you so much to the Backwater Gamblers, a water ski show here in Rock Island, Illinois. If you're with your family down here on summer vacation, it's definitely worth the visit. It's a fabulous show. Thank you so much.
Yay.
And thank you to Nicholas and his mom.
All right. And to Spencer, who no doubt is at Angela Lansbury's room, just knocking on the door right now.
One can
on
hardly
the
wait.
Crystal Symphony.
Bad news. She's not here, but it's a gorgeous ship. We'd like to thank everyone at the Crystal Symphony for having us aboard today. We wish them a safe trip to Los Angeles, and of course the big journey for 96 days.
I
should have sent Phil.
And John Burke with Super Collector Mace Brown in Omaha, Nebraska. John?
Mace, want to thank you for having us. We got more of Mace Brown's Superman Super Collection coming up a little bit later on in Personal FX, including Superman with long hair.
Cool. Give each other the John Burke handshake. Ready? There you go.
All right, tomorrow on Breakfast Time, big, huge Friday show. Of course, the Friday Strut. Matthew Perry from Friends will be here.
Great.
Kadeem Harrison from Panther. And Cynthia Stevenson from Hope and Glory.
I love Cynthia. I want to interview Cynthia.
Oh, you get her. I get Matthew
you
Perry.
Get Matthew. Yeah. All right, we're divvying them up. That means the only person left is Courtney Cox.
Yes,
she's the only person
we must
left.
have her on.
I'll talk to her.
Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.
Pay-per-view. Pay-per-view is always showing major special events and first-run movies like Angels in the Outfield.
Even though you can't see us, we're always watching.
Check your pay-per-view guide for showtimes and order Angels in the Outfield. Time's a-wasting.
Anything.
I'll be careful and very respectable.
I meant the big one.
Oh.
I won't even go further.
All your secrets.
I'm pregnant.
And she'll understand.
I'll never forget you.
Always.
You're my friend. And you're my friend, Carrie Buck.
Friends for a lifetime.
Fix It, Make It, Bake It, Watch It. Our Home. Today at 2 p.m. here on Lifetime.
The Tracy Ullman Show is filmed before a live studio audience.
Well, as you know, last week we instituted our format change where I come out at the beginning of the show as well at the end of the show, and someone wrote in and said that he liked it, so that's good enough for us. So here we go, and this is for you, Derek, darling. There you go, your favourite snack. Distilled spring water and fresh manure.